if anyone's watching this who's a producer, take regular breaks. Like, it's easy to get locked in this thing where you're just like, no, I've got to keep working. But like, you've got to step out from your studio or environment, go for a walk around the block, just go and get a coffee, whatever. Just change your environment, like both your headspace and your acoustic environment. And then when you come back, you've kind of got fresh ears and fresh perspective. It's the same thing as well of like, you're working on a tune and it's not going anywhere. And you say to yourself, all right, this is it. I'm going home. This is rubbish. And you pack everything up and you're like, right, I'm going home. Wait, let me just try this one thing. And that one thing is the thing that makes a tune good, you know? It's that point where you've kind of separated yourself from it and you're not invested in it. You've got a fresh perspective. And that's what lets you
that's
finish
actually
it.
interesting too, because you're like, oh, let me just try this last thing, because even that is a detachment. You know that you're going to be leaving, and you're like, all right, let's give it this last shot.
I think the chances are that like that idea was actually lurking on your head the whole time, but you've had all these other clever things you wanted to try, and then you're just like, okay, I give up on this. Fine, all right, I'll try that one stupid idea, and then that stupid idea is a thing where you're like, oh wow, I've unlocked a tune now.
Yeah.
So yeah, really important to kind of take breaks and to not sometimes you've got to grind it out, but generally forcing it doesn't really work so well.
Would you subscribe to the notion of spice or variety is the spice of life, like to move around and go to different cultures and all of that?
100%. And like, even just if you're in your own city, like your creativity is not just informed by what you listen to. Like, go to whatever local art gallery you've got, go and do a hike in nature, go to different events, go to a rock show, go to a classical concert, go and look at a museum and see some mad artifact or whatever. Anything you can do to like feed that well of creativity within inside you, that's super important, because you can't create when there's nothing, feeding your own like imagination, I think, anyway. Maybe some people can, but for me, I want to go and see something and be like, oh yeah, that's mad. Even if I'm not consciously being like, I can do the audio version of that Picasso painting, because I can't. Just the fact that you're seeing someone else who's been a master of their craft is inspiring, and it can only be good for you,
Yeah, this is like very important for me to hear just in my own life, because I feel like I have been kind of stagnant, at least in a place. Like, there's been a lot of things moving, but I've been sitting in one place. So I feel like this is a constant thing that you probably should remind yourself of. But I wonder, just to be devil's advocate, do you think that there's a point where it's like you've experienced too much and you're just not in life, but like, let's say you're out just experiencing stuff for like a year and then you're not creating stuff. Like, you're a man of culture. Like, you want to be imbued in these cultures and like learn about them just from, things I've learned about you. Like, your shit. I mean, I would say you're like, oh, I don't know if I do, but you do. I mean, at least the things that you're interested in. And I don't know. The question here basically is like, yeah, like, is there a point where it's too much?
I think if you're honest with yourself, you can always tell when you're like valuably stepping away to get new ideas versus you're just slacking off. I think you can always tell that. And I'd also say that like, if you can't tell that, then you're not being honest with yourself. And if you're not honest with yourself, you're probably not going to make very good art, because any kind of art is about just being really honest. Even if you're not making like a sort of, soul-searching song about your own emotions, just being honest as to like, well, is this track any good or not? Or is this sound good or not? You have to be brutally honest with yourself, because oftentimes, we spend ages making a sound and we've got like loads of sick plugins on it and we've done loads of clever stuff. It's just not a good idea. But because you've done all that hard work to it, you're like, oh, I've got to keep this in.
Hey, you're married to the thing. This is just like a fun mental exercise. If you were like a wild child, like never was part of culture, I mean, I guess the culture would just be like being out in the wild, but like, could you still be making like some crazy art? Like, I guess there were cave paintings and stuff, right?
I think the urge to decorate, interact with, change, create, reflect your environment and your internal world is like one of the things that makes us human.
And you start that even probably like just the fact that you have like sensors to like take in information, like you probably start that in the womb. Like, you can't even get away from that well that you were talking about.
I don't think you can separate them, really. Yeah, I mean, look at it. Like, every parent has probably got a story of like their toddler grabbing a crayon and just scrawling on the wall. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like they're going to draw a great picture or anything, but that urge to just be like, I was here and I made a mark, it's part of being human, isn't it?
Yeah. So like, That's the thing. Yeah, it's like it's like a charge that is balancing. Like you get in, you take in all this information, and then like there needs to be a way to discharge it, and that's probably a normal inclination for humans. But I don't know, man. There's some people that are like, oh, I'm not an artist. Like I don't do stuff like that. And it's like, well, you, yeah, I don't know. We probably all are. Not to sound fucking like corny or whatever, but
No, I think you're 100% right. I think the issue is that, like, because the economy has got more and more demanding of our lives and capitalism is more and more intense every year, we have kind of conflated being an artist or a creative person with being someone who does that for a living. You know, it's like everyone has an urge to create in some way, whether even if it's just like, you know, decorating the house in a way that makes them feel relaxed and happy.
a
That's
little feng shui.
exactly, that's a creative urge. Even if, you know, your creative urge is like, I want to care for my partner and give them a really like lovely experience, and how can I do that? That's a creative urge as well. Like whatever it is, we all have these urges, but we tend to think that like, oh, what, you've not monetized your art? Oh, well then then you're not really an artist. It's like, nah, you know, there's different levels to it, and it's important to stay in touch with it, you know.
For sure, for sure. Well, we're getting esoteric already. We're doing it.